He who created the night and the day, the sun and the moon, all the heavenly bodies in an orbit are swimming. How could a man named Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a desert who could not read or write, that had no access to telescopes or the Hubble telescope or any of NASA's equipment, how could he have known that the sun has an orbit? The theory of evolution says that we evolved from less, meaning that if we have, a billion or trillion cells, we had less and then evolved, right?
Yeah.
But the minimum gene concept, which you can Google, and it's something that has been put through peer-reviewed clinical journals and the clinical trial process, says that the minimum single-cell organism had to have 300, theories around 200, but tested around 300 set of genetics. It could not have survived. And in a controlled environment, when we take the genetics and break them down to be less than 300, it collapses.
Yeah.
So how did it evolve if it could not have been less than 300 genetics?
But wasn't the
I'm listening.
In the original, in like the early stage of life, wasn't it RNA?
Mm-hmm.
And it had,
once again, single cell organisms could not survive under 300 set of genetics. Look it up. It's called the minimum gene concept that has been tested using the scientific method in clinical trials. So my question to you, John, if the theory of evolution is correct, how did a cell with less than that set of genetics evolve if it could not have survived? That means the first living cell already had that set of genetics, according to science.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't know any. I don't know much about abiogenesis, but
yeah. So John, that's not really an objection, then, right? If you really don't know about it, people said, qila, they say. Come on, let me ask you a question, then. All right, this is the Quran. All right, this is John. This is a question for you. Okay. Do you have a Quran, John?
Yep.
All right. If you don't, go to One Message Foundation. We'll give you a free one. All right. In Surah Al-Anbiya, which is the 21st chapter, in the 33rd verse, it says, and it is he who created the night and the day, the sun and the moon, all the heavenly bodies in an orbit are swimming. How could a man named Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a desert who could not read or write, that had no access to telescopes or the Hubble telescope or any of NASA's equipment, how could he have known that the sun has an orbit?
I don't know.
There you go, John. Maybe you should, miracle, right? Okay, let me ask you another one, right? Surah Al-Mu'minun, which is the 23rd chapter, in the 14th verse, it says, then we created the sperm drop into a clinging clot, and we made the clot into a lump, and we made from the lump bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. Then we developed them into another creation. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators. So the fact that the fetus, before it becomes into a clot that clings to the side of the uterus as a clinging clot, then turns into a lump, then bones are developed first, and then the muscle wraps around the bone, not muscles first and then bones, and then they develop into a human fetus, would not have been possibly known by the Prophet ﷺ with the technology available to him at the time. How did he know that?
I heard something. Yeah.
In fact, I'm just saying, go home. We're already home. Look up Dr. Keith L. Moore, who literally wrote the textbook on human embryology, and he said there is no way that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ could have known this.
Keith L. Moore.
Look, he said, the one who wrote the textbook on embryology, that no way could a man named Muhammad have known this, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, except that this is from God.
But
so, do you believe the Quran is from God?
I mean, he didn't become a Muslim. I'm looking it up right now. There's no source.
Where do you see that he didn't become a Muslim? Where does it say that?
I mean, I can't find anything on him becoming a Muslim.
Okay, so then that doesn't mean he didn't become a Muslim, right? So the question there is, if the one who wrote the textbook on embryology, and if you want to discuss Islam, I can discuss it with you later. I do know brothers who personally knew him and said he did become a Muslim. He just didn't make a big deal out of it. But he said that no way could a man named Muhammad in 6th century Arabia sallallahu alaihi wasallam have known that except that it's from God, the one who wrote the textbook that's still being taught on embryology. I can't even name how many
Doesn't
awards
it?
he got.
Doesn't it? If he didn't become a Muslim, doesn't it make what he said more credible? Because he has no,
Right? Even a non-Muslim would say.
because he has no bias towards Islam.
But I saw that he had a collaboration with the Saudi government.
Okay, now you're just doing conspiracy theories, though.
Well, listen, John. So what? If he
Yeah.
collaborated, are you saying he lied?
Yeah, it's conspiracy.
So when he came back to Canada, did he deny it?
No. Apparently, here it says he was funded by Abdul Majid Al Zindani.
Whatever, bro. Whatever.
Wait, hold on, bro. John. I'm not gonna let you lie like this, bro. He was funded by who?
It says he had a collaboration with the religious authority.
Who was he funded by?
Abdul Majid Al Zindani.
And he's from where?
I don't know.
Zindani's
that's just what
Yemeni.
Google says.
He's from Yemen, bro. Come on.
Okay,
man.
yeah.
You're
You're wasting
John.
time.
Okay, John. Now that you see clear miracles, meaning things that could not have been known to a man named Muhammad in 6th century Arabia, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are you ready to accept Islam? Because evolution is not a barrier anymore. We've already gone through that.
I think I still need to do a bit more.
How do you explain the prophecies of the Prophet?
Like I don't know.
Have you heard of the siege of Baghdad prophecy?
Yeah,
You've heard of it?
Land. Yeah.
So that prophecy is it's attested 500 years before the event, and it's attested in multiple collections.
Also, the conquering of
right?
Constantinople.
Yeah,
there's many, but this one specifically, because this one can be proven to have been uttered before its fulfillment takes place. And you don't need to rely on hadith, rijal methodology for it, because it's already collected in Musnad Imam Ahmad, I believe was it in Nasa'i, and many other collections beforehand. So how do you explain this detailed prophecy that doesn't develop, the mutun don't develop in main foundational information? So you have the same information being attributed to the Prophet, and that finds a perfect fulfillment at the sack of Baghdad by the Mongols in 1258.
Yeah.
How is that explained?
That's one of the few that I really don't know how to.
Well, somebody sincere needs one proof.
Yeah.
not many, right?
Yeah.
So this is a prophecy that fulfills all criteria of a true prophecy. It's not vague. It's you could say it's time bound. It's not said after the event. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a prophecy that is layered and detailed on multiple layers. Okay, and very specific. It describes the people, how they look, where they'll be, the exact area they'll be at. How is this explained? There is no explanation other than this is being divine revelation.
Yeah, honest. Yeah,